Guess what time it is? It's time for On Air with Russell of Hotels. Hope you guys are doing well. Hey, I have a question for you guys before I even get started. What is the question I have for you guys? What happens in hotels that shouldn't happen? Okay, that's going to be the topic of today. What happens in hotels that should not happen? And I know some people, their imaginations are going wild with them right now, right? They're like, oh my God, is he going to talk about that? Is he really going to talk about that? You'll be surprised what I'm going to talk about today. But anyway, hope you guys are doing well. Happy Tuesday, January 9th, 2024. Yeah, it is January 9th. I had to check it out. This is show number 236. I was just pinching myself just a couple minutes ago, right? This is my little monologue before I actually get to the show, so be patient with me. So I was just pinching myself just a couple minutes ago because I was like, this is show number 236. I remember when I first started this thing, 4 years ago. This month is like 4 years. I think the 27th of this month or something like that. I think the 27th of this month will be my anniversary, my show anniversary. Okay, so and I guess it's like 4 years ago, right? So my first show, and I did it I was working at a studio then, right? Like you just walk in, it's like a radio station studio. You just walk in and kind of just sit down, and I didn't have to do all this. I didn't produce it. I didn't direct it. I didn't do any of that stuff. Only thing I did was host the show, right? I just showed up and then made it happen, right? Or they made it happen behind the scenes. And then I said, I need to learn this. If I'm gonna do this, I need to learn this stuff. But I didn't know that after the first show, right? After the first show, I'm like, am I gonna do this again? But then I remember that, the average length of a podcast goes 6 episodes, right? So I'm at 236. So every time I think about 236, I always think about the average length of a show is 6 episodes, because there may be 3 million podcasts out there that, people that listen to, and, maybe they kind of watch it now with the advent of video and all that kind of stuff. But there may be 3 million, but not all of them are active. Like I said, the average one goes 6 episodes. Some people just get ticked off about it. Like, you know what? I'm not getting the people that I thought were going to listen or watch or whatever, and this sucks and this and that. You know what? I never even thought like that. I just say, you know what? I got something to say. I got some experience behind me, and it's because it's all about my experiences, right? It's all about the stuff that I know about the hospitality industry, tourism, destinations, all that kind of stuff, right? So I said, you know what? Somebody gonna listen. Somebody listen to what I have to say. So there you go. So that's kind of gives you a little background about that. But anyway, thank you guys so much for joining. I see some people out there joining. Feel free to make comments. I encourage engagement because this is what it's all about. I'm live on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, not TikTok, IG, and X. Okay, so all those platforms, one show, 5 or 6 platforms. Who doesn't do it like that, right? You shouldn't do it like that. You should do it like that. Anyway, real quick, the backdrop on this scene is the Willie Waterfall in Ghana. Yeah, I went to Ghana last year. So in the summer of last year, we went to Ghana for like 14 days. So that's for people that don't know, Ghana is in Africa, right? So Africa is a continent. So Ghana is a country in the continent of Africa. Africa has 54 countries, if I'm not mistaken, and this is one of them. So there you go. So anyway, let me put you guys on hold for a second because we got to start the show, and I want to do the intro and all that stuff. So be patient with me, and I'll be right back, and we're gonna get into it, right? We're going to get into the question of the day is, what happens in hotels that shouldn't happen? I don't know, but we're about to find out. So let me just cue this up. Boom.
Welcome to On Air with Russell of Hotels, where we talk about everything hospitality, from hotels to influencers and everything in between. We will feature guest interviews with hospitality professionals who will share their experiences. Your host, Russell Edmond, has spent over 25 years in the hospitality industry, beginning his career with Marriott International in hotel operations, before moving into the sales arena and becoming a relationship-building director of sales and marketing. Russell then went to the other side as a hospitality entrepreneur. He now consults in the hotel and meeting space, which includes being the CEO of Russell of Hotels Group. Did I mention he was a veggie foodie? Yes. Russell is always looking for good non-meat eats. Please welcome your host, Russell Edmond.
Hey. Thank you again for joining On Air with Russell of Hotels, that live hospitality talk show. Everybody's talking about it. We're on show number 236. I'm live in LA, as you can see. Once again, the scene that I'm showing is the Wili waterfall in Ghana, outside of Accra. Accra is the capital of Ghana, and so it's just right outside. Well, not right outside. I wish things were right outside the city there in Accra, but you know, it takes some time to get to these places, right? Because you know the roads are not. The road infrastructure in Accra, Ghana, is not like the roads here that we're spoiled. I'm gonna tell you, we are spoiled with the road systems that we have. We take it for granted that when we get a little pothole, you know, we have a hissy fit. Okay, well they don't have potholes there. They got like craters. Okay, that's the only way I can put it. And some craters are bigger than others. But they're not little potholes that, you know, oh my God, this is crazy, I'm gonna call the city. No, you'll be calling every day, all day, okay? But it's still a great experience. It's just that, you know, when you don't know, right? So when you go to countries and you know, they're a lot different than the country that you grew up in, or especially if you're from America, right? So I always tell people, I say, well, would you go there again? And what advice would you give for people going to another country? I say, check your American attitude. That's the advice I give to people going to any country, because more than likely the country is not like here, unless it's Canada, okay? It's not like here. It's not going to be like here, okay? And you know, and travel when, I'm gonna tell you this, travel when you're young, okay? Because, you know, accessibility and stuff like that in other countries is not like the accessibility here. You know, there's laws put in place that buildings have to be accessible. They have to have elevators. They have to have this. They have to have that. That's not the same when you go to other countries. I'm not gonna say every country is not like that, but most of the other countries that you go to, especially if you're dealing with, you know, third world countries, they don't adhere to any of that stuff. That's an American thing. And like I said, we get spoiled with a lot of stuff. So, which is, hey, it is what it is, right? So there you go. But once again, thank you guys so much. It's show number 236. I probably said that already, but you know what? That's okay. Let's get into it. And feel free to make comments and questions, or make questions, ask questions and make comments. Whatever. I encourage all that stuff. So Level Hotel, yes, they are the sponsor for On Air with Russell of Hotels. StayingLevel.com is the website. It's a hotel that's downtown, right? So they're 1, 2, and 3 bedroom. The smallest is 700 square feet, okay? The smallest one bedroom is 700 square feet. Your typical hotel size is between 300 and 350 square feet. So just, you're getting double the size, right? So why wouldn't you want to stay there? Full kitchens. Washers and dryers. All the rooms have balconies. I mean, you're looking around from your balcony, you know, you had a chair out there, or a couple of chairs on the table. You just like, you know, like, oh my God, what is that over there? Is that Crypto Arena over there? Is that the convention center? You know, is that LA Live? You know, right over there. Okay. That's how it is, right? So the vibe is real cool. The only drawback, they don't have any food and beverage inside the hotel, but they definitely have food and beverage within walking distance of the hotel. Okay. So, you know, I had to throw that out there, right? And if you see this mural in back of me, if you've been to the Level, you've seen this mural. This mural is only at the Level Hotel, downtown LA. All right, so that's why I wanted to post that, right? So there you go. So once again, you get that rate, that ROH23. Just put that code in, ROH23, when you're making your reservation. Make sure you make your reservations direct with the hotel. No matter what hotel you're staying in, make sure you always book direct. ROH23, you get the rate that I get. And yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say on that one, was it? I think so. Yeah, so just, get that rate that I would get. Okay, there you go. Boom. That's the Hotel Maya, Long Beach. So each thing that I change, there'll be a different hotel. So just imagine your hotel is here. I do this show On Air with Russell of Hotels for about an hour, 60 minutes. So just imagine that your brand, that hotel that are so crazy about, that you love your hotel, the one that you sell and you market it and you, oh my goodness, this is the best place ever. Well, everyone doesn't know about it, right? But not saying if everybody comes on here, they will still know, but that you're going to reach more people, right? So why not have your brand, where Hotel Maya Long Beach is, and it'll be your backdrop, or it'll be your scene, whatever. Maybe it's a guest room, maybe it's your meeting space, maybe it's your food and beverage outlet, maybe it's your lobby, whatever. Maybe it's that pool that you always brag about, right? So whatever it is, why not, reach out and say, hey, Russell, you know what? I see you do this show, this on-air thing. I think it's great. I think we want to be a part of that. We want to partner with you. Hey, that's what it's all about, right? So, hey, reach out and touch. Anyway, let's get into it. Okay, so woo, you guys can tell I'm kind of wound up today, right? Got me a little jacket on today. One thing, I don't know if my attire is going more, because when I go to these like shows and things like that, they say, well, dress like business casual. What is business casual these days? I don't know. I mean, because some people's, idea of business casual is different than mine, right? It can be slacks and like a shirt and then like maybe a little jacket like this, right? A casual kind of jacket, right? Because normally we wear the suit jacket, right? Well, I'm getting away from that. I'm wearing more of these kind of things, right? So I have like several colors of this, right? So I'm like, you know what? I'm about to rock this. Okay, this is what I'm gonna do, right? So if people are talking about business casual, so this is kind of business casual. That's the shoes may be different. I may not be wearing sneakers or whatever. I may not be wearing. Sometimes I do wear jeans, right? But with some nice, shoes, not my Nikes or anything like that. So when they say business casual, what do you think business casual is? Is that jeans? And then this is what they say. They say business casual, jeans are okay as long as they're not ripped. Okay, all right. They can be faded though. I can have faded jeans, but just as long as they're not ripped. I don't know. So I guess it just depends on who you are and what you stand for. But some people will come suited and booted, and I understand that. But I was suited and booted for years, right? I'm like, you know what? Can I get away from this? And yeah, so now the vibe has changed. Can you tell the vibe is changing, to more comfortable casual? That's what I like, comfortable casual, but still be professional, right? Because I think professional is in your attitude and how you carry yourself and that vibe that you're walking around with, okay? That's what I think, right? But some people, don't look at it like that. But anyway, I don't know why I even got into that, but I guess it's just because that's what hit me, right? But anyway, what happens in hotels that shouldn't happen, right? So I'm always thinking about things. This is the stuff that keeps me up at night, especially on a Monday night. These things keep me up because on Tuesdays when I do the show, right? Today's Tuesday. So last night I'm tossing and turning. I was like, what am I going to talk about tomorrow? And then it just hit me. What happens in hotels that shouldn't happen, right? Because we're always, me being in hotels all the time, me, working 14 different hotels and, work my way up from housekeeping to, to be a general manager and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, what happens in hotels that shouldn't happen? Because there's a lot of stuff that happens that shouldn't happen. And it's not what you think. It's not, don't get your mind out of the gutter before I even get to this, right? Because I know some people are like, oh my God, he's going to go there? Boom. Okay. So yeah, I'm going there. Okay. So hold on, because I'm going there. So I have 10 things, right? This is the first 5, right? And I'll change scenes and you'll get to the next one, okay? So poor cleanliness. These are things, you can see the ticker at the bottom just in case you forget what the subject matter is. What happens in hotels that shouldn't happen? Poor cleanliness. And these are things that people, of course I had to do my research on this, right? And these are like people's top things that they have issues with hotels. So my hotel peeps, especially people in operations, make sure it's going to be up here, so make sure you take notes and address this stuff. Make sure it doesn't happen in your hotel, right? Poor cleanliness. Guests often complain about dirty rooms, stained linen, and unclean bathrooms. You ever go in the bathroom, you see hair everywhere? Like, oh my God. Well, that means that's a dirty bathroom, right? If it's hair, that's dirty. Okay, that was the thing that was just griped everybody. When you're in housekeeping, when you're a housekeeping manager, hair was like the biggest thing, right? I mean, spots on the windows, as long as they were small, they didn't, we didn't go crazy over that, but we would darn sure went crazy over hair. Like, oh my God, there was hair there. So make sure, whatever you need to do to get this stuff up, make sure you do that. Hair is a big thing. Last week I talked about linen. When I check into a room and I check the bed to make sure, it looks like it's been cleaned, or at least the sheets are clean and things like that. There's no stains and no, bugs or anything like that. And the first thing I said I do with the bedspread or the duvet cover, I get rid of it. I take it off and throw it in the corner, because a lot of times, and I said this, most of your hotels, and I stick by this because I used to be a housekeeping manager, so I stick by this. And this is how I was trained, right? Not all the bedspreads or duvet covers are clean before the next guest checks in. It just doesn't happen. The sheets, now that's another story. They normally are changed, right? They're, and I've seen some exposés where they weren't even changed. Like, oh my goodness. But no, sheets are changed all the time, at least before someone else checks in. But, now as far as they may make up your bed, when you say I'm staying for 3 days, the housekeepers may come in and make up your bed, but they may not change the linen unless you request that. And I don't have a problem with that. I just got a problem with the duvet or the bedspread, because I know for a fact what happens. And just case in point. So if you ever go to a hotel and you see the linen cart, okay, that's what the housekeepers work from. Everything that's on there, they change, right? Everything is stocked on there. So check to see if there's bedspreads on there. If you ever see a bedspread on there, that's telling me that they clean those, they change the bedspreads every day. All right. But if you only see towels, like your regular linen, like your towels, your beds, your sheets, things like that, king sheets, double sheets, queen, whatever the heck they are. Most of the time, that's all you see, right? You see soap, if they're going to replenish that. You see a trash can because they empty the trash into that. You see your dirty linen in another chute. You see those things, right? You see all the other amenities, maybe bottles of water, stuff like that. But do you all the time see bedspreads on there or duvet covers? Okay. Don't take my word for it. You just look next time you check in and you happen to see housekeepers cleaning other rooms. We see it all the time, but we just don't pay attention to it. Pay attention to it and tell me exactly what you see. Okay, so once again, poor cleanliness. Guests often complain about dirty rooms, stained linen, and unclean bathrooms. Maintain a high level of cleanliness is essential for a positive guest experience. Yeah, that plays into the guest experience, right? They don't want to check in and automatically they see something like, oh my God, this experience just went from here to there. We don't want that, okay? For the second one, ineffective customer service. Rude or unresponsive staff can create a negative impression. Good customer service is crucial for guest satisfaction. Yeah, you don't want to check in and somebody's like looking down and they're not looking you in the eye. They're not using your name. They're not doing any of that stuff. They're not being attentive to whatever your needs are, what are you talking about. They're got it kind of robotic. We don't like that, right? So make sure the customer service, and shame on us sometimes, because this is what I do, okay? You guys know I go to hotels all the time. I hang out in the lobby. And hanging out in the lobby and looking at the front desk can tell you the whole story about what's going on in that operation. Are the front desk attendees, are they looking up? Are they being attentive, okay? Are they engaging with the guests or the customers that are coming to them? Do they have attitudes? Are they engaging with each other? So that tells a story. Is there a manager presence around that's helping and engaging and all that stuff? So just look at your operation and you can tell what's going on. Just walk from a distance from the front desk and kind of just like look, sit down sometime and just like you're doing some work, right? But you're actually monitoring the front desk. I do it all the time, and I can definitely tell if there's manager presence. I can tell if that operation is efficient. I can tell all that stuff just by watching, and then just watching how they engage with each other or the guest. Okay, so make sure ineffective customer service, rude or unresponsive staff can create a negative impression. We don't want that. Good customer service is crucial for guest satisfaction. Remember that, when they check out and they get that guest service scores, the GSS scores, that all the hotels take. I mean, that's like the Bible, right? If you got, you know, a D on that, you know what I mean, you scored in the 60s, oh no, you be getting the letter. Okay, you don't want that, especially if you're the big M or a big H, right? They don't like that. Okay, they don't want. No one wants bad guest service scores. I'm telling you, hidden fees. Oh my gosh, hidden fees. This is one of my big ones too. Some hotels may surprise guests with unexpected fees or charges during checkout. Transparent pricing is important to build trust with customers. Yeah, let us know up front when we check in. If we should know this before we check in, right? We should know, meaning if we make our reservation online, we should get, when we get that confirmation number, everything should be included on there. Why is it not included on there? Okay, we know what the rate is. What's the tax? Is there any other? And I mentioned here, resort fee, service fee, amenity fee, or I've even heard it called an urban fee. I'm like, what the hell is an urban fee? I don't even get that one. But I've heard it all. I've seen it all. Okay, so sometimes parking could be part of that. The amenity fee, or the pool, or the pool towels. I mean, they'll try to throw all kind of stuff in there. The internet or the Wi-Fi is part of that. It depends, but find out exactly what. First of all, what is it? Is it a resort fee, service fee, amenity fee, or an urban fee? Okay, find out what that is. Check the website. Make sure you see all the fees, because sometimes they don't even put them on there. I think something came out that they have to do that now, and I think that's not for every brand, but make sure you look and see exactly what charges you'll be paying for. Is it just room and tax? Do you have a car? Okay, what's that fee? Here in LA, it can go from $35 to $65 a night for parking. Okay, so maybe sometimes you need to just do Uber. You know what I mean? Cheaper to do Uber. So to just make sure it's not just taxes. If you're staying downtown LA, they do have an amenity fee. They can go from $25 to about $45 from what I've seen. So make sure the fees aren't hidden and that you know. And ask that question, like, what fees do I expect, or do I anticipate at checkout? Because the last thing I want to see is all these fees when I'm checking out. Well, why didn't you tell me when I checked in? What the devil? But anyway, so just make sure, whatever the fees are called, make sure you know what they are, because that's going to build trust with the guest or your customer. Surprising them at the end. Surprise! Oh, you didn't know? Congratulations, you got an urban fee you got to pay. What the heck is an urban fee? It's not even an urban location. What do you mean? Oh, boy. Anyway, unreliable Wi-Fi. Oh, my God. In the digital age, guests expect reliable and high-speed internet access. Slow or inconsistent Wi-Fi can lead to frustration. Yeah, and an unhappy guest, and a guest that will be a former guest. So yeah, we expect this. I mean, this is not something that it's okay if we have it. If we don't have it, then that's all right. No. These are things that are needed. Wi-Fi that's consistent, that works, is needed. Okay, now I understand. Now some people may not understand this, but the Wi-Fi in the guest rooms is a shared Wi-Fi, right? Because normally you check in and they give you this free Wi-Fi password. Okay, that's for everybody, right? For the most part. So if it's a 300-room hotel, well, that's 300 people that are going to be on this Wi-Fi. They have access to Wi-Fi. Now, what I do, because I do like sometimes I do like my On Air with Russell of hotels, where I do lives and things like that, and I don't want any disruption, right? So I'll pay for the upgraded Wi-Fi, which is like $20 a day or something like that. So normally hotels will give you this option. Do you want the free Wi-Fi? Do you want to pay? It's like a middle of the road one, or do you want the really high speed that just, out of control? If you're like, trading options and stuff like that. I understand that. If I'm trading options, yeah, I'm probably going for the most expensive one too, because I don't want any glitches in this system while I'm in a trade. Okay. So a lot of people do that, right? A lot of people travel with their laptops and everything, and they're trading, and they're doing all these things. They may be streaming, they may be programming, all these kind of things. So you got to make sure that they have access to that. So if it's not the free Wi-Fi, you at least have the option to upgrade. Because like I said, I always do the upgrade. So $20 a day, I said, okay, let me just do it because I don't want any issues. But make sure that you have that because you don't want guests frustrated because frustration leads to people pissed off and leaving and never coming back. And then they tell 10 people, okay, you don't want that. Uncomfortable beds, quality mattresses and bedding are essential for a good night's sleep. Uncomfortable beds can result in poor reviews and dissatisfied customers. Yeah. Sometimes, I mean, it depends. Like me, I never really get comfortable in bed because I don't know, it's my back or whatever. So I don't really trip about the uncomfortable beds because I think that's subjective to the person that's staying there. But they should at least be changed at every what? I don't know. What does a bed last? 10 years or something like that? Flip the bed. The bed should at least be flipped every quarter, right? They should have arrows on the end of each mattress and the foot and the head, and then you change it and turn it. That's what we should do in housekeeping, right? So make sure housekeeping, you're turning your mattresses, you're flipping them, you're turning them, all that kind of stuff. Make sure you're doing that on a regular basis, and that's probably every quarter that they do that. Okay, I used to do it myself, so I know the game. Come on now. The next 5, lack of maintenance. Hotels should ensure that facilities and amenities are well maintained. Yes, they should. Broken fixtures, malfunctioning appliances, or peeling paint can negatively impact the guest experience. Yes, you don't want to see, maintenance issues. Okay, you never want to see, cracked tile and no caulk in the tub, and you can see mold. I don't even want to talk about that. That's I don't like that. So make sure we're PMing our rooms, right? PMing means preventive maintenance, okay? Maintenance is maintaining your rooms, right? Maintenance, maintaining your rooms. So there has to be a program going on at your hotel. If there's not a program, you need to check somebody, check your chief engineer. Say, so next time you have a meeting, your ops people or sales people say, hey, how often do we, general clean our rooms? He'd be like, huh? He or she would be like, what? General cleaning? What are you talking about? What does that mean? So so general cleaning, like, every day they get a regular cleaning, right? But every, 90 days or something like that, depending on the size of your room, every hotel room should have a general cleaning. They go in if there's, if there's air conditioning, they did want to make sure they maintain that. The heater and the air, lights, that's when they change everything at the same time. They shouldn't wait for the lights to go out. You change them as, if it's every 90 days, just change all the lights because guess what? All of them are going to go out at the same time for the most part, right? So all those different things, the drapes, they clean them, right? Because they don't clean drapes every day. But, if they're general cleaning in this room, well, they'll take it out of order for that day and they'll remove the drapes and they'll take them to the dry cleaners and all that kind of stuff, or they do them in their in-house laundry or whatever, and they bring them back and put them back up and all that stuff. So that's what a general cleaning is, windows and all that stuff, because windows are not part of a regular cleaning process in hotels. It's just not, right? Because they don't have time for that. There's only a certain amount of time that housekeepers have to clean their rooms, and everything, you would think they touch everything. They don't touch everything. Okay, especially if it's an occupied room. They don't touch everything in those rooms. Okay, sometimes they have different days. Okay, like, okay, today we're going to do bed boards. We're going to clean them back of the bedboards or under the beds or whatever. Next day we're going to do the corners of the rooms. The next day we're going to do window seals or whatever. I mean, there's different, or we're going to do the tops of the, the tops of the pictures or the mirror frames or whatever. Some of these things have different days that they do them. Okay, so I'm just trying to educate everybody. That's what I'm trying to do today. Let's see. So that's lack of maintenance. So let's see. The next one, privacy concerns. Guests expect a reasonable level of privacy during the stay. Issues such as improperly clean rooms, staff entering without permission, or insufficient soundproofing can compromise privacy. Yeah, some rooms, and there's not a lot they can do. It depends on when the hotel was built, how thin the walls are, because I've been in rooms where you can hear conversations like it's just you and I'm sitting right next to you having a conversation. You can just hear every single, and I mean everything, right? All hours of the night and all that stuff. But there's not much you can do, I guess, other than especially if the hotel's sold out, you can't like change rooms or whatever. I mean, you can call the front desk and say, hey, they're making a lot of noise over here. Can you have them turn it down or whatever? I don't know if you want to do that either, because they're gonna know it's either this room or the room on the other side of me that's calling. Okay, I'm gonna make trouble for them. So do that at your own risk. Okay, so but yeah, so privacy concerns. One thing I don't like is that staff entering your room without permission. Sometimes, even if the room is locked, okay, they'll say, well, what's up? What do you need? Oh, housekeeping. Yeah, okay. What can I do for you? Oh, I'm just doing a room check. Well, you knew that the door thing was on, right? Well, you see my do not disturb. Why are you knocking on the door? Why are you trying to enter the room? You know what I mean? I'm in the bathroom. That's why I didn't say anything. Well, I didn't hear you say anything. Well, I was in the bathroom. I couldn't. Yeah, you couldn't hear me, obviously. So yeah, something about that I do not like. But it does happen. But I think the important thing is, if that does happen, you call immediately to the front desk and let them know that, hey, at this time, someone tried to enter my room, and I think it was somebody that worked for you. Okay. That's why you should always, that deadbolt and the chain, you should always make sure the whatever the latch that the rooms have, make sure you always have that on your rooms at all times. I don't care if you're in that room for 2 minutes. Make sure when you close that door behind you, you lock and latch it. I do the same thing. Okay, I don't want anybody unexpectedly walking in on me. So so make sure you got to take care of yourself. You got to take care of yourself. So okay, so misleading advertising is the next one. Let me just get rid of these. Can I just get rid of that? Boom, boom. So misleading advertising. Hotels should accurately represent their amenities, services, and room features in their advertising. Misleading information can lead to disappointment among guests. Yes. So if you say you have something you don't, pool's open and it's not. Okay. Spa, you have a spa, but it's not open. It's closed down. No one told me. Restaurant says it's open 24/7, but I get there, it closes at 9. I mean, all those things. Just make sure your websites are updated. If you change things, I understand. I mean, this is me. I understand that sometimes, like restaurants. I know this one restaurant downtown. They used to be open for breakfast through lunch, right? Well, they stopped lunch. They stopped serving at noon. That's it. It's closed at noon. And everything, coffee, everything is done at noon. Well, I walked in there at 12:30, and they're like, oh, no, we're no longer open for, well, it's not on your website. Oh, I'll have to let someone know. Those things like that, that's where people get ticked off. If you give them information, let them know, then it's okay. But, is that misleading? Well, did you forget? Well, the guests don't care if you forgot, okay? They look at it as misleading advertising, okay? So just make sure when you make these decisions, the decision needs to be told to whoever is in charge of your website to update your website as soon as possible, okay? There you go. Limited access. Hotels should strive to be accessible to all guests, including those with disabilities. Lack of accessible features such as ample ramps or elevators can be a significant issue. Yeah, I talked about that a little while ago. Here in the U.S., I mean, yeah, we have to have this, okay? This is called a law, right? So you have to have things. You have to have, for the pool area, you have to have the chair in order for them to access the pool, people with disabilities to access the pool. If there's a lot of stairs, you got to have ramps available. All those things are needed and have to be in effect, right? So make sure that your hotel is accessible. If you say it's accessible, you need to make sure it's accessible. If it's an accessible room, if I ask for an accessible room, meaning I have a roll-in shower and everything is basically, at a different level, then that's what I expect, right? I don't expect to go in there and it's a regular tub, right? I'm like, well, no, that's not what I asked for. Whoa, what do you mean? The peephole was lower? Like, that's not accessible. The whole entire room has to be accessible. Okay, there's a lot of hotels in California that are not accessible. They call them accessible rooms, but they are not. So I know this stuff because I've been through, when we renovated a hotel and, screaming and yelling at the construction people because their idea of what, accessible was different than what the law was. because everything, it costs more money to do things the way it was supposed to be done, the right way. I said, okay, you can pay him now, you can pay him later, but I'm not signing off on this. So just make sure, your hotel's accessible. If it is accessible, you make sure you let people know. Ignored feedback. Hotels that dismiss or ignore guest feedback may miss valuable insights and improvement. Responding to reviews and actively addressing concerns can enhance the overall guest experience. Yeah, you want to make sure you address everything, right? Don't ignore feedback. You get it, address it, okay? Because if you ignore it, eventually you're going to have to respond to it, right? So why not respond now when there's no issues, right? Just address the issue, take care of it, and move on. It's important to note that all hotels engage in these practices. Not all hotels engage in these practices, and many establishments prioritize customer satisfaction. However, addressing these common issues can help hotels improve their service and reputation. And that's all you want, right? You want a decent reputation. You don't want a reputation that, oh, that hotel over there sucks because they're not accessible. They say they're accessible and they're not. You don't want that to get out, okay? So, but anyway, boom. Next one. Thank you guys so much for that. What do I do? Okay, so moving forward, what do I do? I'm the brand who helps your brand. I do hotel site selection. I do content creating. I'm a brand show off. Like, what does all that mean, Russell? I mean, you just throwing out these sentences and these terms, and I don't know what that is. Okay, let's take hotel site selection first. Hotel site selection, I assist companies and organizations with finding that right hotel for their meeting, their retreat, their conference, their convention, whatever it is, 10 rooms or more. 10 rooms is considered a group. So 10 rooms, I've done up to 650 rooms on peak night, but I can do more if it's needed. Of course, I can do more. But yeah, so that's considered a group. Also, with me being a hotel site selection person, meaning I'm in hotels all the time. So I create content all the time. So from that, I create content for the whole world to see. So whoever follows me, whoever friends me or whatever, whoever's linked with me, they see the content I create. And normally it's created when I'm doing a hotel site tour or something like that, or I've selected a hotel I assist the client with the site, right? So I find the site for them, they approve it and they okay it, and then we go from there. Contract negotiation, pricing, if you need, meeting space and breakfast, lunch, and dinner and a reception in the evening, all that kind of stuff, you need the space for that. I assist with all that kind of stuff. So you don't have to worry about that. So what that does is take that off of your desk, right? So the meeting plan doesn't have to worry about that. They can worry about focus on the content of the meeting. Let me worry about the site, okay? You give me the destination, I do the hotel site selection. So how am I the brand who helps your brand? Okay, during the whole content creating part, that helps out your brand. So if I'm creating content for your hotel, let's just say this backdrop or this scene is from the Westward Look Resort in Tucson, Arizona. Okay, that's what it looks like in the backdrop, right? That desert scene, I love that. You see the saguaro cactus right there and the ocotillo plant? Yeah, I know that. Okay, I know those things, right? So you see all that stuff, right? So this comes from that hotel. So this is actually creating content, although you don't see the name of the hotel, but I just mentioned it, right? That's the Westward Look Resort in Tucson. So that's creating content. So that's helping your brand stand out, or that's showing off your brand because I'm talking about it in great detail, right? So for the last 5 minutes I've been on this scene, I've been talking about. So that's the stuff that I do, hotel site selection. I'm the brand who helps your brand. I create content for hotels and destinations. And I'm a brand show off, which means I show off the heck out of your brand, right? Probably more than what you do. And I do it all on this show, or you follow my social media platforms like YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, IG, X. I do the same things on there as well. So, boom. Any questions about that? Just let me know. Let me know. Let me know. So, okay. So once again, this is the Hyatt Regency Long Beach. Okay. So I just talked about being a brand show off. Well, I'm showing off this brand now, right? See that? But just imagine that's your hotel. That's your beautiful pool in the backdrop, right? People having drinks and stuff like that, having a good time. So who's your best brand advocate? Should I give you more time to think about it? You are your best brand advocate, okay? So you have to be the one out there hustling. You have to be the one out there shaking. I always say shaking, shaking the pom poms. You don't have to be cheering out there and being excited about your brand, because if you're not excited about your brand, no one else will be, right? It's infectious when you get out there and start talking about, oh, if I'm throwing out Russell Hotels and I got hats made and this and that, that's somebody that's excited about their brand, right? And wants to give this stuff away and here, wear this and that. If you need assistance, I'm here to do that. Well, you got to be your best brand advocate. So if I work for the Hyatt Regency Long Beach, okay, I'm gonna tell the whole world that I worked for this hotel, right? Oh, I love it and this and that. Oh my God, I'm a sales manager here, and oh, I just had this group come in, and you just talking about all the group stuff. Oh, you know about the Long Beach Grand Prix? Oh, we had groups for the Grand Prix. Oh, we're right across the street from the, what's it called? It used to be called the Pike. I don't know what it's called now, with the Ferris wheel. Oh, we're right across from there. Oh, we're Seaport, whatever the heck it's Seaport Village, I think it's what it's called. Yeah, we're right across from that. All these things that go on in this particular area, I will be talking the heck out of it, because I'm a brand advocate, not just for my hotel, but for the surrounding area, right? If I work for a hotel. So be excited about what you do, and where you work, right? The brand starts with you, right? But you have to be excited about the brand that you're representing as well. They'll buy from you, but you got to show excitement for yourself as well as the brand you represent. So there you go. And then let's see, is your brand staying relevant? So I came up with a couple of things. If your brand's not staying relevant, or if you don't know how to keep your brand relevant, well, hey, Russell of Hotels, I got you, right? So just start taking notes, right? So I'm putting this stuff out here for you guys, so you guys can take notes. Luke Joet, are you an advocate for the LGBTQAI community? I'm an advocate for everybody. Is it in reference to hotels? Well, what are we talking about? So yeah, I'm an advocate for everybody, for change. Okay, so let me just put that up there. That's Luke Jowett. I hope I'm saying that right. He asked me if you are an advocate for the LGBTQ plus AAI community. Yeah. So okay. So where was I? So okay. So these are the things. Okay. So to keep your brand relevant, these are things you should do, right? So these are suggestions. I mean, I ain't telling you got to do this. These are suggestions. Continuous market research, okay? So you got to keep doing things. You got to see what your competition is doing out there, right? You still have to do your market research and apply that when you need to, right? Number 2 is adaptability and innovation, okay? Don't just keep doing the same things over and over again. What about AI? You got to adapt to AI. AI is here, right? People are using AI. You don't even know they're using AI. The chat bot and all that kind of stuff, especially with hotels when they're making reservations and stuff like that. When somebody's making a reservation, push this button for that. If you need this, push that, right? Well, that's AI. That's a form of AI. So AI is being used for a long time. We just didn't know it, right? But yeah, so adaptability and innovation. Number 3, strong online presence. You got to be strong online. People need to find you. And you cannot tell people, or you cannot dictate to people how they find you. I mean, of course, that's why we have different platforms. That's why, some hotels will, have a profile on certain platforms, whatever. My thing is, you don't have to post anything on any of these platforms. I mean, if you don't post, you should, but at the very minimum, you should have a profile on everyone, because you don't know how people are going to buy you. You don't know how people buy, how they shop. You don't know that. So that's why I'm always engaged in all, like I said, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, IG, and X. Do I post in all those? No, not all of them, but I do have a profile presence. Okay, and I think that's the important thing. Hotels, you're a company, you're a brand. Some of these are major brands, but remember, you're an individual. You may be part of a major brand, but you're an individual hotel. You're an individual brand, within that family of brands, if that makes any sense. So make sure that you treat it like this is an individual hotel, because it is, right? And you have to have your own page. You have to have your own profile, all that kind of stuff. All the bells and whistles you need to have have a strong online presence. Any questions at all, just reach out to me, reach out in touch, and we can talk about it. Number 4, authentic brand storytelling. Tell a story. What's the story about your hotel? You know, was it the first hotel that was in Long Beach? It was built in the 1920s. You know what I mean? Tell the story. My story is Russell Hotels. You know, I started Russell Hotels back in 2018. I've been, you know, I was involved in hotels for almost 30 years. I did housekeeping, front office, food and beverage. I was a night manager, then became an AGM, then became a sales manager, then director of sales and marketing, then a general manager. Then I went back to being a director of sales and marketing. That's my story, right? Everybody wants to know, how'd you get involved in this industry? Did you choose this industry or did the industry choose you? Well, I chose the industry. I actually went to school for it, right? So that's my story. And then I got to the point where I got burnt out on hotels because they were giving me they were giving the hotel unrealistic expectations, which if you're the director of sales and marketing, it starts with you, right? So I'm like, this is crazy, right? I mean, and to this day, it's still giving unrealistic expectations, right? So I said, you know what? I got to make up my mind. Either I'm going to bust my butt for someone or I'm bust my butt for myself. So I came up with, bust my butt for myself. So I started Russell of Hotels. And then from there, went content creating, went hotel site selection, and then eventually I started a podcast. That's how this whole thing started, right? So that's my brand story. That's my authentic brand story. There's other stuff that goes along with it, but you get the gist. You know what I'm talking about. Number 5, customer engagement and feedback. Always welcome customer engagement and feedback. Welcome it, okay? Customers they know exactly what's going on in your operation, right? They know things that you don't know. So sometimes it's good to have, I remember we would have like round tables, right? So we would have our top clients come in. We'll do like a chef's table. The chef would, cook things special that were not on the menu. Sometimes it would be, if you had a big enough kitchen, you would do it in the kitchen. You would actually see the chef and the cooks back there cooking, and they're preparing special things for this particular group. Because we wanted to get information about them. Like, what did they like about the hotel? What didn't they like? What issues have you had that weren't taken care of? We ask those questions, right? And who is not going to answer questions when they're got a full stomach and they're drunk? Not necessarily drunk, but we're pouring wine, we're pouring drinks. All the drinks are flowing, food is coming out, whatever they want, kind of thing. That's the best time to get that information. So yeah, customer engagement and feedback is muy importante. Importante. That means very important. Okay. So, and then the last thing says collaborate and partner with Russell Hotels. Right. I talked about that a little while ago, but yeah. So just imagine, like I said, instead of that Ferris wheel right there in Long Beach, that's your brand. Whatever your brand is, maybe you're next to Universal Studios, or maybe you're next to Disneyland, maybe you're next to Legoland, or whatever. It doesn't matter where you are. If it's a traffic generator, you want to make sure you let people know what's around your hotel that generates traffic. Why is that hotel there? It's because, we're right next to Legoland. There you go. All right. So wherever you are, let people know. Let them know. Okay, real quick. So, so who's hiring? Real quick. There's a couple hotels hiring, and these are in the greater LA area. Hilton Glendale, they're looking for a general manager. I know that property well. I love their property. I put groups in that property. Joe Tatizian used to be the GM at that property. Okay, good friend of mine. Beach House in Hermosa Beach, they're looking for a director of sales. Homewood Suites in Cypress. Cypress is kind of borders Orange County. I think it's in LA County, but it borders Orange County. I'm going to say it's near Cerritos, like off the 605. I want to say 605. That always sticks out of my mind, 605 freeway. Pacifica Hotels, they're looking for, Pacifica Hotels in Manhattan Beach, looking for a hotel manager. I think this hotel is because it doesn't mention the hotel specifically, but I know Pacifica Hotels manages the Bellamar. So maybe it's the Bellamar Hotel. I'm not sure, but it could be the Bellamar. Hotel Angelino, which is here in Los Angeles. It's a cylinder building right off of Sunset Boulevard, off the 405 freeway, right by UCLA, right? So it's a good location. You get a lot of UCLA business over there. So that probably will be an easy sell. Just a little insight on that. But Hotel Angelino, they're looking for a sales manager. Boom. See how we do it? This is how we do it. Once again, that's the Westward Look Resort in Tucson, Arizona. I was there, and all these photos, videos that I'm showing, displaying on this show, I actually been there. I experienced these hotels, these resorts, these locations, these destinations. I don't post anything that I have not experienced. Okay, so I get people sending me stuff. Can you post this on here? No, I need to come there. So no, I need to take the photos myself, not you. The three P's. We're almost done here. We're almost done. I don't know why I think I gotta sing everything, but the three P's. These are Russell of Hotels three P's: purpose, passion, and perseverance. Purpose. Know why you do what you do. Right. Know why I do. I know why I do this show called On Air with Russell of Hotels. It gives me an avenue to talk about my experiences and share with the world. It gives you a reason to come on here and talk about, hey, how'd you get involved in this industry? Did you choose hospitality? Did hospitality choose you? Yes, I do welcome guests to come on. They can talk about, their experiences in hospitality. But keep in mind, this is a hospitality-driven show, right? So your background needs to be somewhat in hospitality. I don't care if that's restaurants, hotels, destinations, CVBs, DMOs, DMCs, you're a travel influencer, travel journalist, whatever, your transportation company, that's hospitality, okay? All that stuff. So you have to, that's the only caveat, right? That's the only requirement. You got to have that, right? But yes, I welcome people to come on all the time, talk about their experiences, talk about your brand. I mean, we'd spend the whole show talking about you, okay? So there you go. So that's the purpose, to just give people, a platform to talk about, and to talk about their experiences and what they do and how you can help people. So this is the three things you should always know about someone, or three things you should share with people: who you are, what you do, and how you can help them. That's it. That seems pretty simple, right? But you just be amazed, right? But okay, so purpose: know why you do what you do. Passion: either you got passion for what you do or you don't. And you know what you should do if you don't have passion for what you do? Don't do it. Do something else. That's it. I'm done. I'm trying something else, right? So there you go. That's pretty simple, right? And then perseverance: be consistent, continue to evolve, don't give up, and swerve when you need to. Okay. We swerve here on Air with Russell Hotel. We don't use the P word. We don't pivot. Okay. Pivoting, and I'll give you the difference between, I'll give you Russell of Hotels' definition of pivoting versus swerving. Okay. Pivot, you see something in the horizon. You go and you keep going through it. You go through it and you get stuck. You're like, oh my God, I have to pivot now. I can't get out of it. I got to pivot. Well, swerving is you see the same stuff in the horizon, but instead of going through it, you go around it. Okay. You swerve around it. Okay. So that's the difference, right? So we don't get stuck in something. We swerve and then we go to another opportunity or the safe place out or whatever the heck it is. Okay. So that's the difference, right? So people don't know. They're like, what does that mean? I know you swerve and this and that. Well, I just gave you the definition of what it is, at least Russell of Hotels' definition of what that is. Once again, this is another scene, and this is UCLA Lake Arrowhead Lodge. Yes, I've been there. Yes, I put groups there. Great location. Love it. It's in Southern California, about 90 minutes from LA, I would say. It's about 6,000 feet up. Yeah, you got to go up in the hills. It's up in the mountains. But once you get up there, it's flat. Someone asked me that, like, oh my God, is it hilly no matter where you are? Is it flat? I'm like, yeah, it's flat. Once you get up 5,000 or 6,000 feet, yeah, it's flat. So yeah, so it's a cool place and just beautiful scenery, just beautiful. Once again, stayinglevel.com, that's the sponsor of Russell of Hotels, that live hospitality talk show. Use promo code ROH23. Stayinglevel.com is based downtown, or located, not based, located downtown LA on Olive and 9th Street, not too far from the Convention Center, down the street from Crypto Arena where the Lakers play. The, what's the theater down there? The Microsoft Theater is there. LA Live is there. Countless restaurants in the area. And it's just an up and coming area, right? So a lot of, for years, people slept on downtown LA, meaning you didn't want to go down there. But now it's a place you want to go and hang out a little bit, at least a little bit, right? So we're almost done here. I travel a lot, right? A lot of people travel, and I came up with this quote a couple of years ago. And then, based on what goes on in the world, what's going on in the world today, I came up with this quote. I mean, every now and then I come up with these things, and I'm just pull it out somewhere. It came out of somewhere. But travel will educate you about people, places, and culture if you allow it to. Although we may be different in our looks and beliefs, we all want the same thing: to be appreciated and respected for our differences. Okay, so there you go. Travel will educate you on a lot of stuff if you allow it to, right? So it doesn't matter if it's out of the country. There's different parts of this country that are different from California, right? I'm in LA, right? So I travel all the time in the South, in the Midwest, the Northeast. Totally people are different, okay, but that's okay. We respect them. Hopefully they respect, me. You know what I mean? So I don't have to like everybody. Everybody doesn't like me. Okay, so that's the thing, right? We always get caught up. Oh, well, I don't care if people don't like me. I mean, that'll make life easier, but that's not life, though, right? Life be lifing. You know what I mean? So you can't expect everyone to like it, but I expect to be respected because I'm going to respect you unless you give me a reason not to. Okay, so there you go. I'll read it one more time. Travel will educate you about people, places, and culture if you allow it to. Although we may be different in our looks and beliefs, we all want the same thing: to be appreciated and respected for our differences. And that comes straight from Russell of Hotels. So that is it, right? So I thank you guys so much for joining this 236 episode of Russell of Hotels. Thank you guys so much. I don't take it lightly that people actually will listen to this show. Maybe not on the live, but definitely on the replay. I do appreciate that. Follow me on Facebook, X, TikTok, LinkedIn, IG, and YouTube. Yeah, I'm on all those platforms. Now, do I post on all those platforms all the time? Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. So this is the thing. But I'll use one piece of content for all of those platforms. So I'm not constantly recreating content for each one of them. I just, like this video here, I'll do one video and I'll post it on all those different platforms. There you go. I think that's the easiest way to do it. You can, spread yourself, on 7 platforms instead of just, 1 or 2. But am I saying that everyone needs to do that? No, I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is, and I said this earlier, that, we can't control how people buy us or how people find us. We just can't control that. So at the very minimum, we need at least profiles on these different platforms. There you go. That's it. So thank you again, once again. You guys have a great week, and we'll see you tomorrow because I do my daily check-in, on the days I don't do this. But anyway, peace.
Thank you for joining On Air with Russell of Hotels. Please tune in every Tuesday at 1 p.m. as we talk to other hospitality professionals. Your feedback is important to Russell. Feel free to email him at russell@russellofhotels.com with any questions or suggestions. Until next time, try not to be a person of success. Rather, become a person of great value.